So here's the volley I was mentioning. Sorry, there was a pause there. My battery ran out. So anyway, you can see that overall he's starting to lose this battle after this, because I'm just charging him with my hussars anytime I see any weakness anywhere. Here I see the weakness because there's a bunch of units facing the other direction. So I can fake a charge in this swing and throw some British guys down the hill and then retreat. I do lose a lot of hussars, I guess. But the point is not just to do damage with the charge itself, but to reposition the rest of my infantry in a position where they have an advantage and not take any hits from these elite infantry on the way. I do route another unit in that charge, of course, so that's useful. Here, I'm doing a lot of damage to him because of precisely what I just mentioned earlier. By the way, so this is my first video, as I mentioned, and I'm recording it with a handheld camera. The reason being is I really haven't figured out a good way to do it with fraps. I think that's what everybody uses to do these sort of things. I tried using it. It only records 30-second fragments, and the full version seems to be rather expensive, so I'm trying to avoid using that if I can. We'll see how this video turns out. What else? Anyway, if you guys have any good ideas about how to do videos, I don't really have a phenomenal computer, and that's the other issue with fraps, is that they take up a lot of memory. They record in very high quality, and they take up a lot of space on your hard drive. And actually, I have a good computer, I just don't have a very big hard drive because it's a solid state drive. It's only about 140 gigs. So I found when I first tried using it that it was very laggy. The videos were very laggy. So this is sort of the amusing part of the game, because he literally forms a box, which, from the perspective of Rome Total War, this is like the classical new box formation. And if this wasn't, I guess, if this was a flat terrain battle, this would be like the worst thing he could have done ever. But since he's camping on this hill, it's not so terrible, maybe. But it's pretty clear at this point that he's going to lose. He has one unit of long-range infantry, which he just sent to target my winged hussars, but he has nowhere to retreat them. He can't retreat them into this box because they'll just shoot his guys in the back. So he'll just pull them out for an engagement with my own riflemen, which, remarkably, there's one unit left, and it's strong enough to rout his own. I believe these are green jackets, yeah. These guys get a lucky shot on my winged hussar over here. Anyway, as you guys see, my artillery is still being somewhat effective. Basically, my strategy here is just to go for these corners where I see some vulnerability. Positioning here requires a lot of subtlety, and it's difficult to hit them perfectly, but I do lose a unit here, because these guys are guards, and my guys are all regular Polish line infantry, which isn't that great. Anyway. I mean, pretty soon there's going to be a limit to how much flanks he's going to expose, and I'll just... There's always going to be some weakness, which I can exploit. Here his Ferguson riflemen are duking it out with my own. Oh no, I'm sorry, these are green jackets. And killing that one guy routs his entire unit because it's low on numbers. He's just trying to, you know, cover up all the places where he thinks I'm going to attack, but now that his riflemen are gone, I can return my cavalry over here. By the way, I mean, you guys can comment what you guys think, but he had all those riflemen, he didn't plant a single stake anywhere, right? Which, had he like sent one unit here of anything, I think, just to protect this flank, I think this battle could have gone very differently. I think he wasn't a very necessarily a phenomenal player in terms of micro, but he wasn't incompetent. Certainly that charge with his cavalry was the correct thing to do. A lot of his movements were well timed in terms of forming squares and retreating his light infantry. Anyway. Here's one of my last charges. He's trying to rout some of these guys, which I do. This unit is already wavering. I actually timed this charge very well. Both of my winged hussars come in without taking a single volley, because these guys are preoccupied with fighting my own infantry. And he's repositioning this unit to fire at my flank, which is the correct thing to do, but in the process he loses one of his 4 remaining units. I lose my general here. Now here's the melee scene that is obligatory. Anyway, once the damage has been done, I retreat my hussars again. Which, by the way, they've taken a beating, it would seem, but they're actually both pretty high in numbers, 17 and 21. Which I guess is not amazingly high in numbers, but it's high enough. Here he basically does the desperation charge, tries to charge his line into my light infantry, which runs away. I mean, at first it walks away, but then it runs away. I charge him again, because he's obviously vulnerable. This unit charges into my own line. I form a square. The rest of my line infantry prepares to shoot. Hill advantage plus unit quality routes my own army pretty quickly. But of course, he's not going to be able to contend with everything. Here, I basically stop his guys from chasing my light infantry. I throw some of them and then I retreat again. And his guys don't rout yet. I mean, they take some damage from my own line and from my own light infantry, but they then rout just because of the army loses effect. So that's the end of the battle. Alright, I'm going to try to upload this pretty soon, see what you guys think. Final results. You can see them here. By the way, here's the name of my opponent. His name is... I can't really read it, but it says G. Feinstein. So thanks for a good game to him. Anyway, deployed I had 1326, 841 losses, 759 enemy killed. My opponent deployed 1185, 927 losses, 772 enemy killed. Alright, thanks, and all the best.